now it's like this. I've had it from a young age, as you can see in the video. There is a disorder we call stuttering. They said maybe if you take up the baglama, you can sing folk songs, and if you sing folk songs, maybe this difficulty will disappear to some extent. We said maybe, so we started a baglama course. They ask me now, they say that you play the baglama well, and I say I try to play it every time I try because it's really... I don't think it's modesty, I think it's the way it should be, because that when you say I play, I know you lose the feeling of working, of renewing yourself or adding something to yourself. I'm thinking about it.
Brother, hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you, welcome. Who is Mutlu Hoşgör? Mutlu Hoşgör is from Sorum. He was born in March 1981,980. He is currently lives here. He has been involved in music for over 35 years. It has become a way of life. It's a way of life. It's his livelihood. He's married. He has a daughter. Yes, he's full of music, no gaps. I took a break for a while. I never had a period like this for years, of course. At first, baglama was is a different instrument. It is the instrument I spend the most time with.
Don't cry. How did you get into music? What encouraged you?
How did we start? I don't know if it's correct to say that nothing really encouraged me, but I don't know if that's the right way to put it. It's like this. I've had it since a young age, as you can see in the video. I have a disorder called stuttering. I mean, it's not a disorder in my sense anymore, but it was a disorder at a young age. They said, maybe if you take up the baglama, you can sing folk songs. If you sing folk songs, maybe this difficulty will disappear to some extent. We said maybe, so we signed up for a baglama course. We enrolled in the course, we went for a while, then I worked at a SAZ making place. Then when I was around 14 or 15, I started to perform on stage because I was a little young. I was young. But it was fine. I was doing it. It was good days. And then I started giving baglama courses. The notation, the theoretical part of this work was done by different people. Let me tell them here. Sadi and Yetta Durner were our music teachers. They also taught me the theoretical part, the notation part. Right now we are trying to help our own students as much as we know.
So did you study music or completely?
I come from the master-apprentice tradition, and I say this with pride. Unfortunately, you don't see much of that, only in our students. Not even in normal industry. So an apprentice, problem right now, in our time. Of course, this was more common. That's how I came. I mean, I came from that tradition. We need to see the other side. After that, I realized that I still need to learn notation, solfege theory. We are learning. I mean, we don't look at it as we have learned and we are done. They ask me right now, they say, you are a good baglama player. And I say every time, I'm trying to play. I'm trying because it's not really humble. I'm trying to show that this is what it's supposed to be. Because I think that when you say I play, I know you lose the feeling of working, of renewing yourself or adding something to yourself. I've been looking at your question a bit broadly.
No, I'm sorry. Did you think about studying music afterwards? When I started, I wanted to be a teacher and so on.
I usually took conservatory exams for about 6 years, but we didn't win. We're saying it wasn't a masip. I have a lot of people I employ.
Music teacher.
I have students. I currently have students in fine arts, high schools, and conservatories. I really wanted to go, but it didn't happen.
But if I could be a music teacher or something, intervene.
What should we say? I haven't tried the music teacher's exam much anyway. I tried it once. After that, I usually went to the conservatory. I mean, as a branch, Turkish music, Turkish folk music. To improve the binding, to be there more. Yeah, I had something like that once. Now, when I look back, I really think I'm better off now. In a sense, if I had been, maybe I wouldn't be in the position I am now.
I wanted to ask the question this way because I thought that people who start music, those who learn to become a music teacher, to be appointed and become a music teacher with a fixed salary, that's why you too.
Yes, mostly because of that. Or is it my musician
localism?
job?
No.
Well, I am already a musician. Even if I work as a music teacher, I am free in my own place, free to myself. A curriculum of my own. Because in national education you are given something, you are given a curriculum and you have to follow that curriculum, so you have to teach them. But here I try to show what I know is right, what I think is right, and of course you are more comfortable when you have your own space. Being free? Of course being free has an advantage.
No, I don't have that advantage.
You set your own hours. So in the end it was better for me. I consider myself lucky in a way.
In a way, I consider myself lucky. I'm glad I didn't win.
But I didn't win. But still
there is always something. I see a
lack
deficiency in myself against
Do I
that
wish
place.
I had?
Do you wish
even
you had?
Now, this age
even
of
now,
ours is not very old.
We're not very old, but not too old, but...
Even now, I wonder if I should take the exam again.
There's no age for reading.
I'm not.
If you have the desire.
No, of course not. That's exactly how I look at it. But of course, I have to fit it into my work schedule.
When it's good,
when it's
you don't
beautiful,
hesitate.
There's this place. We offer courses and we sell. Bag, guitar, violin. We are following up on these, and on top of that, we are evaluating whether it will be a good place or not. Maybe not now, but later.
Why did you move from Sorum to Usak? Why didn't you stay there? Couldn't you do music there? Couldn't you keep it going?
Keep lighter, of course. Now, the reason for this place is purely economic, but it's also social. These two things are already intertwined. It's about, so now we need to make music as part of our work. Where should we do it? In restaurants, cafes, etc. Of course, you need to be fed with your work. Of course, you have a house, you have a family, you have dependents. There are many jobs. You are not alone. When we were on our own, maybe what we earned was taking us far, far, far away. That's good. That amount was too much for us, but of course, as one grows older and one's responsibilities increase, one's expenses also increase. So ours was a little bit of a business here. This is our first time here. I used to come here before. How did I come here? I bought it for a visit once or twice a year. My Yildiz, this is him here. When I look at it, there are a lot of them here, like in our region, like in Sorum, and there are many people doing it there. There are many places and many people doing this job. I saw less here, and I said, let's try our luck here. You don't know anything anyway.
There's one more place. There's another place.
There's
another
more
place.
Thing, but I also said, of course, I trust myself here. How do I trust myself? I'm good at what I do. I'm trying to do that. We go and choose the instruments ourselves. I usually pick the baglama myself. There are very good people who do this job, who make saz. We go and play them, choose them, bring them, and advise them. Someone comes, which instrument? Look, this is a baglama. It will be very good for me. The handle is like this. This is the wood. With information like that, with his influence, we were very happy when we arrived. This is our 8th year here. It's not a very long time when we look at it, but it feels like we have been here for 40 years. In that sense, this city has a welcoming, embracing city. I mean, this one came from there. That foreigner, let's make something from our own city, our own nation. Let's go back and forth from there. This city doesn't have the mentality of let's go shopping. So in that sense, I think it is livable. Here.
If you didn't have students, if you were only selling here, brother, if you opened it for that purpose, would you still do it the same way? Would you be happy? No. If you didn't teach?
No. Very good questions, too, you're asking. For me, he's more like, how shall we say happy? That's the first thing that happens. I mean, teaching a person something. First of all, of course, the work we know is our baglama, or rather not what we are trying to learn. In this sense, if I hadn't
given courses,
I couldn't trade. I mean, he and her complement each other.
I wouldn't have been able to trade,
so
they complement each other, but you can't do without it.
Of course, I don't mind without this job, but it's not a course,
the lesson,
a lesson
teaching each other something. Touching people is a very nice feeling. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this job for you?
The biggest advantage is that we have the chance to do a job we love. We can, because it's not a job to be a musician without loving music. It's not like being a driver, I mean driving. Professional. Now you get on a road, go there, come back for 4 hours, sleep for 4 hours, 8 hours, go back and come back again. We don't have such a thing. Our hours. We don't have the concept, for example. How not? Here we are during the day, we are still making music. In the evening we are on stage again. So we get up, we open our eyes and the music starts. We go to bed and music starts. Continues. It's a way of life. What's the difficulty? You have kids and you can't see them grow up. I mean, maybe you can see them during the day. You're not home at night. The biggest thing, I think. The most precious thing is time spent with family, with your spouse, with your child, with your father, with your mother. I mean, because there is no repetition. There is no repetition of life. We are here now. There is no repetition of this. So there is nothing like this. We repeat it again, but we can't do it again like we're doing now. I can't say everything I just said to you again. He said it. It's over. It's over. Everything is good.
Everything is good in the moment. Everything is good in the moment. That's why, in my opinion,
that's what I
call a disadvantage.
Of course, our society's
view of this profession is also very important. Our society has never looked at this profession.
He could never look at it as a profession, perception or musicianship. They always saw it as a side job.
They always saw it as a side job.
What if you
do it anyway?
Do it anyway.
Even if it's your primary profession, you can still do it on the side.
You can still do this as an additional job. A job
as long as you have a job with a medical salary.
What's an insured job with a fixed salary? They told us that for years, and they told your father too. So they said, look, these are not jobs. Here, my nephew, you are like this. My father said this, my mother said this, my uncle, my aunt said this. None of them shut up. Everybody, I mean, they want us to get an insured job and know our salary. I mean, even if you're unhappy, who doesn't give thanks to him? Something was shown, but we said that I did it from myself, and most musicians have done this too. It's not just me, but I said I love this and I'm going to do this. I said I'm not going to do anything else. So I fought everyone. It's only recently that musicianship has started to be perceived as a profession. It was worse in the past. I can say that too. But as I said, I say this is not love because it's nothing else. Of course we need to earn money. We need to make a living. Everyone needs to earn money somehow. At the moment, I have been seeing the effort of those 35 years of work for the last 8 to 10 years. We have only recently come to these situations. Before seeing this profession as a profession, it must be seen in the heart. It starts here first, then it's your profession. It happens, so there is such a difference. It will start here first, because music is a work of the heart. I mean, if there is no heart, there is no work. It's just a profession when it's like that. You do it like a civil servant.
Just do it straight and pass it.
And that's
Yes, I do.
nothing, because we already see that. Who does it from the heart? Doing this job, we more or less understand who is doing it with a civil servant mentality. We have a long-standing ear.
While we're on the subject of money, brother, how much does this place pay you off stage? What's the average? What do you make, right? Do you
Now,
make
let
a
me
living?
put it this way.
Yeah.
Of course, we are tradesmen. We are a group. After all, it's different every month, but let me tell you, it averages about 30-0. I can tell you, 30,000 liras at this time. It sounds good when you first say it. I think it's good now.
I joined, and now
It was
the
good a
stage
couple
for
of
me.
years ago or something. It's not good now. Not good at all after what happened. Of course, because we're instruments. It's not just... The instrument made in Turkey is not bagaz. It is guitar, violin, is the piano, mostly because they are worked abroad. This has been the case for years. They always came in foreign currency. Now they come in foreign currency too. What's the difference? Our exchange rate is high now. It caused the expensive costs of such tools, and that, of course, reflected on the society. Right now, those tools are harder to sell because their prices have increased. Here we are, a little class, a little here, a little stage. That's how we combine our current life. We keep going. If one of these were missing, we would also be in trouble. In that sense, there will be a class and there will be trade, there will be a stage. These things are like that.
This
the
whole
absence
thing.
of one of them. To stop by, but I don't know. So far we haven't. Is there a most interesting event in this place? I'll ask you now.
Off stage, separate to the stage.
Of course not, because it's on the sales floor, because it happened once.
And then he on the
That's
merchandising
most
side,
interesting
the instrument
thing.
side. I wonder what could have happened to him.
We gave a violin, a friend of ours, didn't we? Of course, we became friends later. We gave him the violin. The violin traveled from here to another city. There was a problem with the violin in that city. The music teacher, he said, "This violin is a fake." A music teacher came here. I said a music teacher wouldn't use such an expression. The handle of this
Fake
violin
violins.
is waste. The lid of this violin is dented. This violin is out of level. He can say that the ears don't hold. I understand all of these. But no music teacher would use the term fake. It's not a phone.
This one seems to have that generic fake.
It's not money. We said after that I have a chance to talk to the music teacher.
Let me tell you, fake.
Of course, he said. We picked up the phone and I took it. Hello, it's me. It's over there. I didn't say that. I told them this. The bow of this violin is a bit crooked. It would be better if it was replaced. That's what I said. That's what I said. I believed him. That's what he said. That's
That I'm
what he
translating,
said.
that I'm telling the truth.
That's what he said to him now. This person understood it that way. It could be that too, but when
ear.
we first heard it, you know, the fake violin here,
Of course, the violin music teacher and this, an ordinary person who doesn't know, that's fine.
A fake violin for the first time in my life. I've heard such a term.
I'll use this from now on. Fake guitar, fake guitar.
You should ask if it's fake. Someone will give it to you. I mean,
I need
is
to get
it
a
fake
license.
or original? How is he on stage? On
How's
stage,
he on
of
stage?
course.
On
Interesting
stage, he's on
things.
stage.
It happens to everyone. Interesting things always happen. Are things that we've been through with each other. Here comes the piece you're playing. Why don't you play that? There are people who say, you play that piece. For example, this happens a lot at weddings. I've played in wedding halls for many years. I've been to weddings. Let's say you're playing. Ankara's Vineyards, if a man comes, he says, Ankara's Vineyards. Play it, he says. That's him now. The sound of Ankara's Vineyards in his ear. You know that sound. The sound on the cassette doesn't come to him there. Oh.
He wants to hear the original. He doesn't listen to the original. He doesn't understand.
As he listened to the original on the same tape, all those beats, he wants it to sound like that. He wants the baglama to sound like that. It's funny.
He doesn't realize what he's playing. He feels like he's playing something else.
It sounds like he's playing something very funny. It's a very interesting thing. Most of the time what happens to us is funny. I'm saying that's what we're playing. Listen to it. I mean, listen, that's our problem. As a society, we don't listen. What we know is fixed. We don't listen to the other person. That's usually the case.
And what about you, brother, who resists like this? Who gave you a hard time? Who did you wrong? Because in this country, you know, of course, there's musicians in boxes. Musicians have been killed in boxes for not playing stack tracks. And when he was making street music, a friend of ours was killed in the same way.
This has happened a lot. I mean, I don't remember such things happening a lot in the past. Let me put it that way. Did it happen? Did it happen? It did happen, but I don't remember. We didn't hear about it as much, or I should say so. But I know this. Things were better in this country in the 90s. I mean, there were a lot of listeners. It was beautiful.
Now it's all a bit more like this. Like the middle of the middle has become sardinized.
Mixed. I mean, mixed together.
Because there's too much production. There's no quality
it's all
anyway.
Mixed together.
There's a goalkeeper.
Quality, of course, depends on everyone. What's quality for me is quality for others. But now who evaluates it musically, you know? Now I can't evaluate music like a normal citizen. If it sounds good to the ears of a normal citizen, that's fine. It's over. It's good. There is a math to this.
Harmony. It has a note.
We can't even listen to music because we are looking at other things. What we listen to is not music. We take something. It plays while we're listening to the music, while we're thinking about what's going on with her.
The owner is playing.
Ends.
It's
you
music.
Didn't understand anything about her. You did. You tried to understand the math. You didn't get the feeling it gave you in terms of heart. Because you didn't have the opportunity. I mean, you know, look what they did there. It's nice. I wish they had used that instrument here. That's it. I wish a voice would play from above. What sound? I mean...
He'd blow his voice out of the sky.
We are different to music because we listen to this kind of stuff like this, like a normal citizen. We don't listen. That's why, you know, in those years... people respected each other. Empathy was more. I'm saying what I see. I mean, this is the difference over time. I mean, I see it now. I was playing music in a restaurant 30 years ago. I mean, I started playing music in a restaurant. Even in the first place I worked, there was no stage. There was nothing, no plumbing, music installations, no amps, speakers, microphones. And I was playing with a single baglama at 8:30 in the evening. A bar. They used to put a chair in front of the bar and a coffee table next to it. That's how I made music. I broke it for 3 years.
Brother, do you buy the instruments here? Do you buy the instruments here in advance? Do you pay in advance or do you order them? As they're sold or as people ask for them?
I see.
People
now,
are very curious
of course,
somewhere.
It was different in the past. Now it is different. Right now, for example, 80% of those who do this job, we pay for it ourselves first. Because it is not like before. So you send it from there and we'll sell it here, then we will send you your money. The logic and form no longer exists. Everyone is now in a give and take situation. So if we're going to put an instrument here, we pay for it, we send it, it comes here, we put it here. That's generally how it is. Of course, it's been going on for years. Where we have friendships, we can go to them for more or less a week, 10 days. And then we can send it, but usually 80% is cash. In advance, they get their money and then the material arrives.
So, I mean, this business, there's no guarantee in that sense. I bought it, I will sell it, I will make a lot this month. There is nothing. It might not sell at all, you never know.
Now, the money you've invested is here for you. Can look you in the eye. You may not sell it for years. I had a baglama here that didn't sell for 3 years. Was it bad? It wasn't, but let's just say the owner couldn't find this place. He didn't come across it. Of course, that's exactly what it is.
About your brother. I know you've been helping people. I've known you for years. I'm asking for people who don't know, so they can learn again. I know you've helped people. I know you've helped everyone. You help everyone in this way when I don't see it, in a sincere way when I don't see it. So this price is now at the exchange rate of the dollar, for example. Without knowing, let's say $500, the price of a baglama or a violin. $500 to you, brother, to a stranger or acquaintance. Too much. Do you do it like the others?
I'm definitely not doing it well. There's no middle ground. How is there no middle? In our society, there is a habit in most sectors of giving a price below the quoted price. We call it a thing. We call it bargaining in our Turkish society. It's too much. If it is 3 liras, because we don't know him, I have never given it to anyone for less than 3 liras, and I don't have such words. Even if I don't know someone, even if it's someone I've just seen, this is this. But this price for you, I say I can give. I mean, I can do this on the saz, guitar, violin, and strings as much as I can, because here in Turkey, the current financial situation, we more or less know the situation, so the very rich don't come. Our thing is, our customers are not very rich people. They are all in a certain situation. For example, they have a salary. Minimum. The fee will come now to buy your son a string or a guitar to speed up your son's. If he wants, he should give us a quarter of his salary. This is the minimum. Now, when this happens, we already know and see this. We say, look, brother, here's the price for you, but this is actually normally. But we say we can give you this, so we try to help those we don't know as much as we can.
Anyway, you look at it from the point of view of an artisan. Stick to it wholeheartedly anyway. Exactly. You understand the other person now. He wants to do it. He's eager. He's going to start or has started. He wants to change instruments.
I can have fun because we're like that. You know, he's our father too. We didn't have such rich parents. Yeah, I've seen it.
So by living it, by seeing it, you're going through the same paths. Of course, the same paths.
When we see a binding somewhere, we say, what a beautiful binding.
I'm passing, so you're looking at it by pulling everyone.
We said how much it costs. Personally, I mean, because we know that we are like someone else. You know, the price of this is this or that. Brother, I can't tell you to take it or not to take it.
What is your future goal, brother? Do you want to stay here? I always want to continue on stage and do this job, the teaching part and the commercial. And do you just want to stay in Usak from now on from myself?
Let me put it this way, in my next life, before the stage is good, so I don't do it anymore. Because we have just said the same thing. The stage is not meant to end like this for a few years, 3 years, 5 years. I'm planning to. If I don't encounter a situation, I would like to spend more time here, that is, to teach, to work, and I would like to be here more. The issue of giving courses is already, I say to myself, as long as I live this, someone will come to me. They will definitely come to me. They will say, you teach me this job, and I'll say, no, brother, I'm too tired now, I don't teach. I don't think I will say that. He will always be with me as long as I live, my students. There will be. We just said health time. Health is more important than anything else. Important. I don't have my eyes on big things in terms of trade. I want to go to a big city and do this business in Ankara, Istanbul, Izmir. I want to open a bigger store. I have no such idea. I'm making that clear. But if you ask me if I want to live and end my life here, I don't want it to end here. a seaside town, maybe. I mean, when I'm very, very old.
We'll see you in another 40 or 50 years.
In another 50 years or so, if I live long enough. I mean, if I live to be 100, 30, 40 years later or something like that. So it's a natural thing. Most people have this. They have worked, tired. And you know what we do. You know, it's always done with a crowd, you know.
The work that's been done, I mean, you know, even if it's a restaurant program, the crowd, the more crowded.
It's like the more crowded
it is, the more enjoyable it seems. We, in front of...
When you perform the program, if you have a club hall in front of you, you have a different way of playing.
A different swagger,
if there are three tables, five tables,
such a different swagger because it's completely... Here it is.
But after a certain time, you can either do the opposite of that. I see the person as moving towards a quieter life, less people, less environment, I mean. Myself. If we can do something like that, I guess I can say I've done everything.
Thank you for joining me.
So thanks to you, this is a first for me, and I'm very happy. Thank you, brother.